Well, what's going on, fellow zombies out there? Emotionally deprived and sleep deprived. This is your zombie from Rosamond, California. We were John C. doing the diary of the griever named John Weaver. And as usual, going through the lists on social media about grieving and how some of them are dealing with their grieving. And when I come across a tale that reminds me too much of me, I have to relate with it because it also hurts me more. Coming across people that actually have death regarding alcoholism or drug abuse, I came damn close in my own time, but by a physician's order. But my brother almost came down worse. I'm trying to find the right words on that one to cuss it out or something. But the problem is, my brother became a lot worse when he was in his drug days, drinking and using. Got to the point where stealing out of mom's purse was just too damn much for mama to bear. And Dave and I, we had to part ways. Ma and I tossed David out. This was back in '85. He came back a few months later looking like a damn skeleton. And during this time, he had misadventures happening where it was testing him out left and right. He even lost the love of his life. And it really tore him apart that he didn't feel like living anymore. If he couldn't live with his family, he couldn't live with the love of his life, he might as well be dead. And he had a gun with him, and he had some rounds. Went over to a motel room somewhere in the San Fernando Valley. Got a room overnight. Plugged in about 6 shells and a revolver. Spun the chamber. Put the barrel in his mouth. Pulled the trigger. Nothing. 6 times. Nothing. Emptied the chamber. 6 more shells. Nothing. Frustration and aggravation, he slams the gun on the table and it went off and blew a hole in the door. The gun and the rounds were on a table, and my brother was in a corner, far from the door, crying his head off when sheriffs came by. Actually, when LAPD came by. And they found my brother in a disheveled mess. He wanted to kill himself, and he couldn't. One of the police officers was looking at the rounds spent and realized how lucky David was. He didn't die from it. He should have. The first round should have took his damn head off. And it didn't. He didn't know what to do about it. So they took him over to Northridge Medical for a psych ward hold. 72-hour. He had his Navy ring on. And one of the officers was military. And was treating David a little bit more gently than his partner realized. When they evaluated him and he calmed down after 3 days, the doctor over there was former military Marine, proud of it. And he asked my brother a few blunt questions. He wanted to live, was the answer. He got thrown out of the house, but he wanted to go back home. Are you going to get help? Yeah, I want to get help. I want to live. Then what the hell you doing over here? Pack your trash and get the hell out of here. My brother had said this story a lot of times when he was getting sober. When he was talking to me about it, it was a lot more details on it than he normally would give out in the meetings. He also told me some of the things, what he did, and what got him to the edge at that point. Besides the drugs and the alcohol, were something to cover up what happened in the Navy. My brother had already been a practicing alcoholic, but using the drugs and alcohol together to get rid of some stuff that he went through in the Navy. There was some actions and initiations and encounters in the Navy that my brother did go through that he wasn't the same afterwards. He was running away from the Navy, but he wanted to run home and stay home. It was the hardest damn thing for my brother to admit to me about that one. A lot of things he went over with his shrink. It was a lot more in depth and personal, especially if they are former military. Then my brother could actually open up of what he'd been through specifically. The things I knew about it was hearing about it later on in his life as he kept getting sober. More and more years racked up, and I found more and more history about him. And I'm understanding more and more of my brother's pain. More and more. I couldn't actually talk to this one person who was writing and pleading online on how to deal with a son's suicide who was doing alcohol and drugs, and she thought she tried everything to stop him. But the thing is concerning about an alcohol, it screws around with the brain and screws around with the soul a bit. The alcohol itself is the pure essence of sugar, and it overloads the sensory, the pleasure sensors. And it screws around with the brain like crazy with the neurochemistry to the point where it's beyond addiction at this point. It must be had. It must be, because there's no way of getting past it. The cravings are so ingrained that it drives a person insane. And when they stop getting sober and still become more of a drunk and still inebriated, it's the stage what they call the wet brain. I had seen my aunt been that way with an uncle. Uncle one time gave my aunt a welcome home present, a bottle. She was drunk again, and she died of cirrhosis of the liver. The hardest thing about living in a dysfunctional family is how much you love both parents, but you don't like to see them going through this damn shit. And there's really no way for you to go through it. To know what normal is, because this is your normal. I don't know if they ever hated their father or not. I know Ma had some feelings about it, misgivings, and so did my brother afterwards. After they lost our favorite aunt. It was my mother's sister. And I loved her no matter what. And I was trying to love Uncle George and Aunt Rainey no matter what. He was imperfect. I know he was. And yeah, I did have a bit of resentment towards him. Why? Because that's what he was. There was nothing I could do to change him either. It was hard seeing family members self-destruct and destroy each other without even realizing it. That they're hurting everybody else in the process. I had seen an uncle who had gone through hell in a handbasket of a couple of wars, and he had gone into the actually one war into services with the Fed and state and local. Gotten the degree of a doctor in criminal psychology, behavioral psychology as well. And he was instrumental working with other law enforcement and legal agencies to put away people, try to analyze them if they need help or not. He didn't turn out to be an alcoholic, but he did smoke, and he had the cancer bit him in the lungs, and he stopped smoking for a while, but unfortunately the damage was too severe that he had to pass away. There was another uncle I had who had mental health illness. Took a shotgun to his face. My big brother, oh, that's that, Dave, the alcoholic who had been sober for 32 years. And because of some of the diet and smoking he had, somehow he developed transischemic attacks in his head. Complications of respiratory illness, they called it, when he passed away. I think there was more to it than that. I mean, he could smoke his ass off like crazy and drink cokes, but sparingly. The smoking was it. But I think he also died of a broken heart. I know my mother did. 76, 79, somewhere in there. And she was burned out. All of her family and friends, loved ones that she cared about, except for Dave and me, had passed away. She wanted to go home. Dave and I tried to take care of her as best as we could. Apparently, it was time. It was time for her to go. David was too abrupt. It wakes me up, tells me that he couldn't breathe. I'm getting stuff together. I'm getting in 911 online. Um, Things are happening at a blur at that point over there. Next thing I know, here comes the EMS with a gurney. He's getting onto it. They're trying to fit oxygen tube on him. And I'm getting the stuff locked up, locking up the apartment, getting into an ambulance ready to go, and trying to arrange transportation coming back home because I'm going to be needing that just in case. Never realizing my brother passes away between home and the hospital in the ambulance. Wheels up, wheels right into the ER as a slab with things sticking out of him. I mean, I could tell you that he died clean and sober. He just died quickly. And I'm still having a hard time dealing with it. I know that alcoholism and the disease, as they call it in the 12-step programs, I, some people call it the damn disease, takes a lot of people away, affects a lot of families, friends, people that care about the ones who are being affected and afflicted. It starts off at a young age, and they don't even know when or how, but it starts off, and then they go through the process. My brother started up when he was young, doing drinks for mama. It's bad enough I had to deal with the damn doctors and hospitals regarding my own medical issues. I didn't realize I was starting to get the emotional shit first. That was going to tear me apart down the road and put me onto the path of the 12 steps. I can't tell those in the grieving pages how to deal with this. The only thing I can say is find support groups, and somehow they'll let you know, they'll teach you how, work with you. I've discovered that after I got my family lost, I have become more and more of a recluse than ever. I'll deal with other people, I'll smile, I'll talk with them, I'll try to laugh. But I know inside I'm a miserable son of a bitch, because in this place, that's when I feel the misery most. It's not that I blame my family. There's no blame in it. There's no way of controlling them. Things just happen, and I still have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. I have to deal with that concept that everything was out of my control. A lot of people that I left actually left me on this earth. There was nothing I could do. And I don't have to feel guilty about it. But I do feel sad and depressed about it. Sometimes I do get the thoughts and the feelings that maybe I should have done something about it. But not at all. What could I have done? What could I have done? I did the best I could. I mean, I know it's a simple explanation right there. It doesn't exactly mean a whole diddly squat, but still, what was I supposed to do? And truth be told, I couldn't tell you, because I have been trying to deal with it on a constant basis, and it hurts. Seeing the last days of my family and friends as they were before they passed away, without even telling them that they meant the damn thing to me, that they meant the world to me, and knowing that probably the surrogate families that I made, the expanded families that became part of mine, when I lost my family, my core family, I lost the expanded as well. I tried to make ad hocs, but that's just not the same. It's not the same. I'll have friends who try to tell me that they do care, but they're living their lives. The hardest damn thing is for me to try to even do that for myself. Yeah, there's a lot of anger and a lot of resentment in that situation, where I could probably tell him that, look, you guys are causing me a hell of a lot of grief right now, and I don't need it. But I don't know what I could do about it, except nothing. I can yell, I can scream, I can go crazy on them. But is it going to help me in any way, shape, or form? Is it going to help them in any way, shape, or form? Nope, I don't think so. And why not? Because I am powerless over people, places, and things and events at this point over here. And when it comes down for my own damn needs right now, I have to focus on them. Nobody else can get it for me. Nobody else can do it for me. I have to do it for myself. I've been doing a lot of things for my family growing up, all the way up until I lost them. I did a few things for myself here and there. I wanted to get a book, that's one thing. Go out there, go to a bookstore, get a book. Want to go see a movie? Go out there, let the family know, get a few dollars, have a good time. Want to go to a sci-fi convention, try to convince my brother to get the transportation going. Oh, you'll have a blast over there. Yeah, sure. He gets bored. Sometimes he'll have fun by talking to other people who are just as bored as hell, and they're surrounded by nothing but geeks during that time. So he wasn't all that bad for him sometimes. But just dealing with me though, and my needs. I had my family try to do that for me. Try to convince me to take care of myself. And now I got to do it all alone. And it's not that easy. Talk to people on the grieving pages. Yeah, I'll get the sympathy, but that's all we're doing is giving each other sympathy at this point over here and a little bit of advice here and there, and that's about it on the grieving pages. But when it comes down for the physical, that's a different story altogether. I have to work out with what I got to work out with. I've got no shame and I got no anger over the damn thing. Of course, I could be frustrated about the damn thing and blame everybody else, but you know what? It ain't going to help anything. It ain't going to solve shit. When I get that stressed out and frustrated over stuff like that, man, it's just not right. And I'm not dealing with it. I'm not coping with it. I am not going to work with that. I'm going to deal with whatever I got to deal with as it is. And a lot of people may be looking at me saying, well, you look so damn miserable. Yeah, thank you very much for noticing that damn shit. But you're not responsible for my own damn happiness. I don't know if the universe is going to be responsible for my own damn happiness. I don't know if I'm going to actually be happy at one time of my life. But the only thing I can tell you right now is I'm dealing and I'm stressing. And I'm coping. And I'm working through things. And it takes me a long while. And it pisses people off because I'm not happy and joyful and smiling and laughing like crazy like everybody else. Fuck it. I did say it. Fuck it. I'm dealing with what I got to deal with right now as it is. I got to deal with this noodle in here. And this damn thing's still driving me nuts. But I also care about people around me. If you give it a chance, maybe I could do something for them. But if not, I'm in the way and I'm on the side. What do I do? I could tell you a few things. Dealing with my brother and his issues was teaching me some things that I didn't even realize what the hell they were. Patience. You got to be patient with yourself. You're going through a hell of a lot of stuff. You're going through a lot of grief, a lot of pain, a lot of agony at this point over here. You don't know what the hell is going on. And you want instant gratification. You want instant help on this one. Somebody to automatically take the pain away from you. And the problem is, it doesn't work that way. Patience. That's the thing we have to keep learning. Not exactly being humble through the damn thing. You're in pain, you're in grief. I understand that. You're mourning. I know. Me too. But I have to learn patience. Some days are going to be good and other days are going to be shitty. Yesterday, when I was talking to my behavioral therapist, I think I was bouncing off the damn walls because I was feeling great at that point, and I was able to communicate that with her. And I'm sending video links to her on some occasions to let her know what the hell is going on with my life, how some things are being progressed day by day by day. Some days I'm functional, and other days I feel like a piece of shit, and I'm just covering up left and right. Yesterday I was feeling all right because I didn't feel and think anything else was wrong. I was functioning. I was doing things for myself. Actually, it was the day before yesterday. Yeah, it was the day before yesterday. And yesterday I was just taking care of things that should have been. And I did. I did. I took care of my things. I felt like I was on top of the world. I was on top of things. And I didn't have a care. I was getting things done. And then the next day I feel like, oh shit, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Not this shit again. So now it's like, oh my god, what am I doing now? Leave me the fuck alone. I got a chuckle at that one. Leave me the fuck alone. I got motivated doing this video. I got motivated doing this letter here to discuss about crap. Things I came across online that actually touched my heart and touched my head and got motivation going on at this point. I see somebody trying to figure out why. And the problem is there's no way to answer that one. We all want the answer to why. Why covers a hell of a lot, I'll tell you that. You got to be putting specifically. You have to make sure that there's more specific information after the word why, W-H-Y, question mark. I mean, before the question mark and why, there has to be some spaces in there too. Punctuations, spelling, abbreviations if necessary. Something, give it some life in that damn thing. But why is this thing that is affecting me and yada 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 la 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 la? Why is this happening to me right now? I don't know. You tell me. We'll both know. As for why it's affecting me and my brother, actually affecting me about my brother and my mother at the same time, well, grieving in the morning does that. When the head's cleared up enough where I'm not triggered, I'm not feeling the depression of saying, oh my God, why am I going through this damn shit? No, I had to take today off a little bit regarding some tasks that needed to be still done. I've been trying to figure out and plan on how to get some additional funding into the household to get the necessary equipment to get the bug war ended. Get a massive extermination, genocide of these sons of bitches in this apartment. Then I got to do the major cleanup afterwards, and I'm not looking forward to that either. But shit happens. I got to deal with it. I got to get necessary supplies to put food and dishes away in there, clean, secured, airtight. So when a fogging comes in, they don't get touched. But if they do get touched, I still have to run the dishwasher. More supplies regarding dishwasher soap I need. Things I have to keep thinking about and plan on getting that going. I feel pressured about it, yes. But I don't feel ashamed about it. I'm not ashamed about what's going on right now as it is. I'm ashamed of living in an apartment with a damn bug war. That's about it, but that's it. But how I feel about my family, about how I feel about myself, not today. There's no shame. And if I cry, I cry. At least I know I mourn. I feel the loss. I feel missing love. And even though if I may feel the love of my family during this, it's going to make me cry even harder and more depressed. And they know it. At least I hope so. They know I miss them a great deal. They want me to get their things taken care of. Some things we'll take care of in their own damn time. And if I have to take time for me to mourn and cry and feel like I'm human again, so be it. I'm not ashamed of it. I just don't like broadcasting it to the rest of the world. But I still have to take care of me. There's no shame in this. Never has been. So, for right now, this is what I have to do. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'll be loading these videos up and sending them back to their YouTube, and I gotta get them reprocessed all over it again. And you say it's getting darker and darker because it is getting darker and darker because it's coming up on the evening here. Perfect time to end this thing right now. So, ciao.